Good day once again, students. Today we are going to start another series of classes on the transport system in animals. And in particular, we are going to focus more on you and I, on mammals, especially human beings. We are going to focus more on you and I. So the transport system in you and I. This system is sometimes called the cardiovascular system, and you're going to know the reason for this. Cardiovascular system, you will know the reason for this. It is also called the circulatory system, and you will also know the reason for this. Now, this system, how do you define it? We know that from cell you go to tissues, from tissues we go to organ, and organs working together forms a system. More than one, many organs working together form a system, and many systems form you and I, living organism. We are talking about just one of the system, the transport system in you and I. The transport system is a living system. Of course, it is living because it is in you and I, in your goats and donkey, in your monkeys and dogs, even in your kitten. So, it's a living system. What does this living system do? It is responsible for the movement of materials around inside our body, moving it around within the body of living organism, within our body. So this is a living system. So this is the living system responsible for the movement of materials within the body of animals, If it is of plant, within the body of plant, but we are concentrating on animal in this class. Now, this transport system can be divided into two. One is a simple transport, and the other one is the mass transport. The simple transport and the mass transport. Now, let's divide it. Transport can be simple transport and can be mass transport. Simple transport, and it can be mass transport system. What is the simple transport system? The simple transport system involves the process of simple diffusion only. You know simple diffusion from your Key Stage 3 in your IGCSE. All your life you have been talking about simple diffusion. So diffusion across the membrane of cells, or across just one cell thick of tissue. So diffusion, so the movement of material from region of high concentration to region of low concentration. So that is simple diffusion, and this occurs mainly in lower animals like the amoeba, paramecium, euglena, plasmodium, all these small, tiny microscopic animals. Simple diffusion is the major means of movement of materials within and even outside the body of these organisms. So For example, amoeba, euglena, plasmodium, trypanosoma, paramecium, and so on. These low organisms, low animals, they undergo simple diffusion. Is the major means of transportation in them. Now, the mass transport system, I said, involves the simple diffusion of materials within and outside the body of lower organisms, e.g. amoeba, euglena, paramecium. But the mass transport system involves the system of vessels and pumps. This involves the system which contains this is a system which contains laid down vessels and pumps. It involves systematically laid down vessels and pump. Laid down vessels and pump. So we are concentrating on this. But one thing I want to tell you, student, is this. Yes, this occurs in what? In higher animals like you and I. It occurs in higher animals, e.g. mammal, examples: mammals, fishes, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. These are vertebrates. It happens a lot in vertebrates. So now, as I was saying, despite the fact that this occurs in higher animals, the bulk transport, I want to tell you that even simple diffusion is part of this mass transport system, one way or the other. The transport system, we said, it involves the system of vessels and pumps. Yes, when the vessels take the materials, is moving, it takes it to the cell, which is the final destination, close to the cell. The vessels will not penetrate the cells. The vessels will not enter the cells. The vessel, between the vessel and the cells, the final destination of these materials, simple diffusion must happen for this material to move out of these final vessels and move into the cell. So simple diffusion must happen. So simple transport system is also, one way or the other, the end point of the mass transport system. So at the end of the movement, at the final destination, simple transport system must happen, even with this mass transport system. Now, we are concentrating on this. Let's now look at the features of this mass transport system, the properties of this mass transport system. So let's look at it, the features of the mass transport system. Now, before I look at the features, let me talk briefly about the simple transport system before I talk about the features of the mass transport system. You see, for simple transport system to occur, there must be a particular criteria. There must be a particular qualification. Now, we are saying it occurs in lower animals. Why does it not occur in you and I? Why can't oxygen diffuse from outside, from the atmosphere into our body and go straight into the lungs? Why? One reason, we are saying before, we want oxygen to diffuse through our skin first, through the layers of our skin. You remember the two layers of our skin, the epidermis and dermis, then into the fat layer, the adipose tissue layer under our skin, then penetrate the muscles, cross the aponeurosis on top of our muscle, enter the muscles, then if there is a bone, penetrate the bone, then get to a cavity, a chest cavity, then get to the surface of our lungs, then diffuse into the lung. Look at all the layers involved. How long do you think this will take? Then after getting there, then start entering the cells of our body directly from outside. Starts entering the cells of our body directly from outside. It's going to the liver. It penetrates the abdominal wall, the skin here, the abdominal muscle, that is the abdominal wall, the skin, the fat layer, the muscles, then goes into the cavity there before getting into the liver, then penetrating the liver, then go into the cells of the liver. How long do you think that will take? Of course, it will not be easy. Look at the distance the oxygen will take pass before getting in there. So it will take a long time because of the thickness. So we summarize this as saying, and this must occur all over our body. So we are too big. The mammals are big. We are too big for simple diffusion to occur. What do you mean that we are too big? We don't just write we are too big in biology. Our volume is too much, our area of our body, and compared to the area, the surface area of our body, compared to our volume. When we compare the volume of our body to the area, the volume of our body to the area, the volume is too much. It's so big compared to the area. So our surface area is tiny compared to our surface area, the area of the surface of our body, compared to the volume of our body is too small. But for this small organism, they have tiny body, very tiny volume, but they have surface area. The surface area of their body is much. Some of them still have folds. You know, folds increase surface area. Some of their body have folds. So fold increase surface area. So the surface area of their body is so large compared to their volume. So what really helps in simple diffusion is high surface area to volume ratio. Is high surface area to volume ratio. To volume. If the surface area is large compared to volume, then diffusion will be favored. If the surface area is large compared to the volume of the organism, diffusion will be favored. Simple diffusion will be favored. When you look at all the organism under simple diffusion, whose transport system is mainly by diffusion, you will find out that their surface area to volume ratio is very high. And when you look at you and I, the elephant and the kangaroo and the rats and the rabbits and the giraffe and the lions, we mammals, you will find out that our volume is so big compared to the surface area of our body. Our volume is so large compared to the surface area of our body. So the bigger an organism is, the lower the surface area and the larger the volume. So the surface area to volume ratio, SA/volume, will be low if an organism is large. If an organism is small, SA to volume ratio will be high, and this favors what? simple diffusion. And the former does not favor simple diffusion. The former does not favor simple diffusion. That is, you know this does not favor simple diffusion. But when it is high, it favors simple diffusion. So let's look at, I told you that if the surface area is so big, if the body is, the bigger the body is, the lower the surface area, and the smaller to volume ratio. And the smaller the body, the animal is, the higher the surface area to volume ratio. Let me give you an example. I have two cubic boxes. One is double the other, or the dimension. The length is double. The first one is smaller one. The length of the bigger one is double. The height is double, and the width is double. Let's look at the surface area to volume ratio. Look at the cube. This cube has length 1 centimeter with 1 centimeter, height 1 centimeter, because it's a cube. So therefore the surface area will be the area of this length 1 times width 1. The area here, length times width 1, 1 times 1. So you have how many area? Total surface area 1, 2, 3, 4 under, 5 on the other side, and 6 on the other side. 6 sides. So what is the total area of the 6 surfaces? Each surface is 1 multiplied by 1 because area is length multiplied by width. So the total area will be equals to 1 multiplied by 1, that's one surface, all multiplied by 6. So I have 1 multiplied by 6, which is 6 centimeter square. What about the volume? Volume is length times width times height. Volume is L times W times H. So I have 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1, which is equal to 1 centimeter square. So what is my surface area to volume ratio here? 6 divided by 1 is equals to 6. Now let's look at the one where we double the dimensions now. We double the length, the width, and the height. So the area here is length times width, so the total area is 2 multiplied by 2. Then that is area of one side multiplied by 6. So this is equals to 4 multiplied by 6. This is equals to 24 cm square. And the volume, this is cube, sorry, that one is cube. Then the volume here is L times W times height. So this is equals to 2 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2. This gives us 8 cm cube. Now we have SA to volume ratio 24 divided by 8, which is equals to 3. We can see that the smaller the body is, the higher the SA to volume ratio, surface area to volume ratio. You can see it yourself. So look at this is 3 and this is, so a smaller animal will be more favored to use the process of simple transport system, while a bigger animal will be favored by the mass transport system, the mass transport system in you and I. Now, we are going to talk more about the mass transport system because that is the system in you and I and all other mammals. Now, this system, let's look at the features. As I told you earlier before I talked about this. 1, it is made up of system of vessels, as I told you earlier. So how does that help? Which follow specific, so they follow specific path laid down for them. Specific paths laid down for them. This specific path ensures that the material you move, they move to all parts of the body where they are needed. So because they follow specific paths laid down for them, where they are not supposed to go, they will not go there. Where they are supposed to go in big size, big vessels will go there. Where in large amount, like big vessels will go there. Where they are supposed to go in small amount, small vessels will go there. So they follow a system of vessels. Lead specific path. So they follow specific path laid down for them. So this transportation follows specific path laid down for them. So 2, the presence of pump. And the pump here is a special one, which is the heart. We have seen this as the most efficient pump. This pump starts when you were still in the embryonic life, when you were not born. The pump has started beating. And it will not stop beating even if you spend 700 years. It will continue to beat continuously without stopping. So it is very efficient and it works for a long time. So this pump, because it contains this pump ensures that materials are delivered to areas where they are needed promptly at the right time, and waste products are evacuated very fast. Waste products are evacuated from where they are not needed, from where they will cause trouble, from where they will cause toxicity. Quickly, they are evacuated because of the presence of the pump. So, the presence of the pump, the heart, which ensures that materials are delivered to areas where they are needed and evacuated from areas where they are not wanted at the right time, is the issue now. At the right time. So the pump makes it very fast. And number 3, the presence of suitable transport medium. Just like you and like our transport system in this world, the three major transport systems we have in the world of, let me say, 1 by road, 2 by air, and 3 by water. Which one do you think is the most efficient? Which one do you think carries more load? Of course, by water. By water. By road, that can carry load. Then we are by air, that can carry load. But the amount of load carried by the sea, by water, every day is, you cannot just imagine it. Enormous. So, in you and I, in your dogs and monkeys, in your cats and goats, we have exactly this type of transport system, this efficient transport system, just like the sea transport, just like the water transport. We have, just like the water as a medium of transportation, the best medium of transportation, we also have the plasma, which is water. So, the presence of a suitable transport medium, the plasma, which is water. You can see that now. The transport systems we are talking about here, it is built just like what you have in you and I. Now, and the 4th feature is the presence of muscles and valves. Muscles and valves, which ensures that the materials move in the right direction, directions where they are wanted, directions where they are needed. Blood down your legs still find their way down to the up to the heart. Yes, we know that there is what we call gravitational force, which pulls down. If you jump up, you fall down, but your blood from your leg will come up, we move up, and will not fall down because of the presence of what? Valves and what? Your muscles in your leg. This help to push it up, to direct it up back to the heart. Back to the heart. So the presence of what? The presence of muscles and valves. Muscles in your leg, in the extremities, and valves in the vessels. I'm not saying just muscles in vessels, muscles in your legs, and valves in some of the vessels, veins, which help the materials move, which helps the material move in the right direction, These are the features of the mass transport system. Now, I want us to compare this mass transport system to the system we have in your own city, in your city. In your city, you move by buses all over the world. You move by buses. These buses, we have a bus station. We have bus stops around the town. We have nice roads around the town or around the city. We have petrol station for that particular station attached to it for better efficiency. Same thing happens in you and I. If you have in your city, we have mass transport compared to bus transport in your city. It's just an example to make you see what we are going to talk about later. So in you and I, this is what we have. In your city, you have buses in your bus station. These buses in the morning, every morning, first will be directed by the manager to go take the petrol. They may go in here and come back. It depends on the plan. They may go in here to the petrol station. This is the petrol station. This is the petrol station. The bus may go into the petrol station and go away to the town like that. It may go into the petrol station and report back. It depends. It depends on the city. It depends on the plan of the city. Just like it depends on the animal. Does he go from the bus station to the petrol station and go from there to the city, or he goes from the petrol station from the bus station to the petrol station and comes back to the petrol station before going to the city? You will see this later. Then, like in you and I, it goes to the petrol station, it comes back in mammals, it comes back to the bus station. Then from the bus station, it is directed to go out to the roads, to the streets. It goes to the road and it meets bus stops. At the bus stops, it drops passengers and picks new passengers. Drops some passengers, picks new passengers. It goes again, other bus stop, it does the same thing. Goes again, other bus stops, it does the same thing, and moves around the town like that, and comes back to the bus station. Coming back to the bus station, report to the bus station, and move again. And it continues like that. Because it is depleted of petrol now. So it moves again to the petrol station and comes and comes. In this, our transport system, in your city and in my city, in your city and in my city, what do we have as the components of this your transport system in your city and in my city? What do you have as the components? The components of this transport system are the buses themselves. Of course, the bus station, the roads, the petrol stations, these bus stops, and the manager directing the affair, the management directing the affairs of the buses. Now, I am saying that this was built, this was planned by the town planners, the first town planners, according to what happens in you and I. They thought of this and they planned this. That means in you and I, we have got buses, we have got bus stops, we have got roads, we have got petrol station, we have got management, we have got bus stations. What are the buses? What is the bus of your body? The blood. That is the thing that moves around the entire body. The blood. The bus station, which pushes out these buses, send the buses out, receive the buses, send the buses out, receive the buses. What is the bus station in your body? The heart. And what are the roads? You have small roads, you have big roads. And sometimes when there is a problem, you have rough roads. But we all want what? Smooth road, because we don't want traffic. Same thing in you and I. We have roads of different sizes, and these roads are the blood vessels. Blood vessels. And the petrol station, which the buses go to get more petrol before moving away, is close to the bus station, very close, adjacent, it is your lungs. Your lungs are close to your heart there. The lungs. And the bus stop. What are these bus stops? Where the buses deliver materials and deliver passengers and taking new passengers. These are the tissues all around the body, the tissues around your body. Materials will be delivered by the blood. Materials needed will be taken away. Materials not needed will be taken away. Materials needed will be delivered. All around your body, you have tissues, and the blood helps to deliver and take away materials. So, what are the bus stops? Representing the bus stops, you have the tissues. And the management, which control the entire thing, which tells the buses where to go, which tells the buses when to come back, which tells the buses when to go back to the petrol station, which tells the body how much petrol it should take, which tells the body how the buses how fast they should take the petrol, which tells the buses how fast they should move on the street, which tells the buses when to return back to the station. In you and I, there is something which tells the blood how fast it should flow, which tells the vessels how wide they should open, which tells the lung how fast it should put the oxygen into the blood and how far it should evacuate the carbon dioxide from the blood. You have bus stop, which with the management, which tells the tissues what to bring out, which tells the tissue what to take in. This is the management, and that management is the brain. The brain. We can now see that the transport system in our city is built according to what you have in you and what I have in me. Town planners plan this like this according to the transport system in you and I. So, but the main components of this transport system, because somebody asks you about the transport system in your city, the first thing that will come there, oh, the buses are useless, the buses are good. The buses. Oh, I love the bus stations. You sit down there and you relax. You don't even know when the buses will come and start calling you. It's relaxing. You have nice restaurants there. You have nice lunch and everything. Bus station is another good component. Oh, the roads in the city, the network of road is so fantastic. These guys are the major ones we are going to discuss. The bus, which is the blood station, which is the heart, and the roads, which are the blood vessels. These three guys, we are going to discuss them in detail in this chapter. And we will talk about them. If there is problem with them, what happens? If there was also talk about some diseases of this system, of this transport system in you and I. So we are going to start with the buses, which we call the blood. The blood. We will be starting with the blood. The blood in our next class. This is in the introduction to the transport system in animals. This is the introduction to the transport system in animal, and I hope you have enjoyed it. So students, please, if you have any question about this intro, do not hesitate to contact your teacher, and he will reply you with another video custom made for you in 24 hours. In 24 hours as usual. So students, good day and God bless.